Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order released all the way back in November 2019, and it was a huge success, giving many fans the story-driven, single-player Star Wars experience they'd long wanted, myself included. The game followed Jedi padawan Cal Kestis as he grew in his abilities as a Jedi and searched the galaxy to try and rebuild the Jedi Order, all while being hunted by the Empire and its Inquisitors. Its sequel, Star Wars Jedi Survivor, is set for an April 28th release date, and I'm going to discuss all the major changes and improvements that we know so far. The first change for Jedi Survivor is the game's time period, flashing forward 5 years after the events of Fallen Order. The game will be set during the same time period of the Star Wars timeline as the Obi-Wan Kenobi Disney Plus show. Many had suspected that Cal Kestis might have made an appearance in the show, but now that Season 1 is finished, we know that this didn't come true. There have been some speculations that Obi-Wan could appear in Jedi Survivor, however, I feel like this is highly unlikely. Jedi Survivor will have a much darker tone than the first game. The game's director, Stig Asmussen, has said that Cal must do, quote, whatever it takes to stay alive, including making connections with people that in other times might be considered unsavory. During Jedi Survivor, we're likely going to explore some of the seedy underbelly of the galaxy, and Cal may have to use some unconventional methods, for a Jedi at least, throughout the story. So far in the gameplay and trailers, we have seen no hint of Grease or Marin, and with the dark tone of the story, I worry about their fate in Jedi Survivor. However, it could come down to the fact that they may disagree with some of Cal's choices and have chosen to split off from the Jedi. We may likely play parts of the game without Cal's ship and his lightsaber. Within the trailers, we can see the Mantis, Cal's ship, crash and end up badly damaged. This will mean he may need to find some new and creative ways of traversing the landscapes. One of those methods of traversal will be the use of mounts. In Jedi Survivor, Cal will be able to tame and ride different mounts, with Asmussen stating, quote, Cal can cross huge gaps by chaining several types of skills together, but it's also about how we approach these mounts and how they're used to negotiate and dominate the world. However, mounts won't be the only new way to traverse the landscape. It's recently been confirmed that Jedi Survivor will feature fast travel, after many complaints about the frequent backtracking that was required in the first game. However, if you did enjoy doing this and searching for items along the way, then I'm sure you'll still have that option as well. And you'll be able to do it quicker thanks to the faster box opening animation. Cal will also have an ascension cable at his disposal to climb and cross distant points, as well as wall jump up tight spaces. He may also be able to hitch a ride with a new companion, which we'll discuss a bit later. Cal will also be visiting a brand new planet in the Star Wars universe, which will serve as a, quote, proving ground for Cal as we witness his rise from a padawan to a true Jedi Knight. In the gameplay video posted by IGN, we got to see a look at this new planet known as Kobo, which Cal stops on as he looks to repair his ship. On this planet, we saw a variety of new creatures that Cal will encounter, with the Toronto Shell and Gorger being named in the gameplay footage. New enemy types are a welcomed addition from the first game. As I mentioned, we saw numerous new creatures on the planet of Kobo, but we've also seen Cal be attacked by a Wampa, a giant ice monster that featured in The Empire Strikes Back. And in a previous trailer, we also saw this dinosaur-like creature. Not sure what it's called, but it looks pretty cool. Additionally, we see that Cal will face off against a pair of bounty hunters, one wielding an electro staff. These two will likely be a persistent menace throughout the game. There have also been various new droids from the Clone Wars eras. We see some classic B1 and B2 battle droids, as well as BX droid commandos. And we've also seen some of General Grievous's Magna Guards as well. And there are likely others that I may have missed throughout the gameplay footage. Combat is an area that has seen some significant improvements from the first game. As mentioned earlier, Cal appears to lose his lightsaber at some point. In the first reveal trailer, we see stormtroopers bringing it to an Imperial Senator. In the most recent trailer, we can see that Cal has acquired a crossguard lightsaber, similar to that of Kylo Ren's. Since Kylo Ren's saber was constructed using a flawed kyber crystal, the lateral plasma vents allowed it to operate safely. While his may have been done out of necessity, I hope that Cal's may be more attributed to design. It'll be interesting to see how Cal acquires the new saber, and I hope this is a hint of increased customization in the game. The customization, especially the outfit customization, was limited in Jedi Fallen Order, but it appears that things will hopefully be better in Jedi Survivor, as we've already seen some variation away from the ponchos that Cal wore in the first game. Additionally, Cal will have access to a blaster in-game, and he will also have some new and more powerful force powers at his disposal. One example that we see is when Cal throws his lightsaber in a circle, cutting down a group of droids. Another we saw in the recent gameplay footage is him using a more powerful force slow to slow down the enemies that surround him. And we've seen this sweet double saber toss. Jedi Survivor will now feature 5 combat stances for Cal to use, and in an interview with Game Informer, director Stig Asmussen described a few of them. He stated, quote, "A lot of it depends on the enemy that you're coming across. It's advantageous to use certain stances against certain types of enemies, and it's up to the player to figure that out. It requires the player to break down the enemies and figure out what the best weapon of choice is." One new stance includes a dedicated dual blade option, which allows Cal to flip and spin the blades at high speed, even deflecting blaster shots as he runs. Now I can't lie, it looks a little bit funny when he does it, but I have to say it's also super cool. Another stance will allow Cal to use a blaster and a lightsaber at the same time. Asmussen continued by saying, quote, "It's been 5 years since the first game, and the dark times are in full swing. He's an unconventional Jedi and has to do unconventional things. So, something that would be frowned upon during the height of the Jedi Order, Al's finding he's going to do whatever it takes." I really hope we get to see some blaster saber action like we saw Seer employ in Fallen Order. I think it could really add to the combat and just the fun of this game. He also mentioned a third heavy stance that will utilize the crossguard lightsaber to take on more sizable foes, stating, quote, "It's a more confident approach. It's weighty, it's beefy, but you have to be measured on how you use it because the timing windows are longer with the blade." While Cal will once again have his previous companions of BD1 and Seer, there will also be new companions and characters being introduced in Jedi Survivor, such as a mercenary named Bodhi Akuna, who reminds me a lot of Poe Dameron for some reason. And I'm quite sure it's Bodhi and not Bode, but either way, new companion, looks pretty cool. Asmussen described their relationship with this quote, "He and Cal form a special bond. It's almost like they're brothers, and they're not exactly the same, but they really do complement each other." Bodhi, or Bode, will play the role as an AI companion character, helping with both combat and traversal. So he may be a key for us to navigate the universe if in fact the Mantis is lost. While the Empire will remain an overall antagonist, Cal will face some new bad guys, such as the padawan Imperial Senator in possession of the lightsaber. In the trailer we hear someone, likely him, asking Cal the question of, why lead when they won't follow, and why fight when you can't win? There is also the mysterious man in the Bacta tank. Many have tried to speculate who this is, speculating he may be from the High Republic era, some assuming him Jedi, some assuming him Sith, but many believing the term Survivor is actually in reference to him. In the trailer we hear him say, "The Order is gone. I was betrayed by the one I trusted most. I will not be imprisoned again." While we don't officially know who he is or if he will be a brand new character in the Star Wars universe, he will likely serve as an antagonist to Cal during the game. However, I could be wrong and maybe Respawn will throw us for a loop. And I would regret finishing this video without pointing out that in Jedi Survivor, Cal now has a beard, which may seem insignificant, but just think about all the cool Jedis who have rocked a beard. I mean, enough said. If you'd like to know more about some other exciting single-player games releasing this year, then be sure and check out the video on the right of your screen, also located in the description. Thanks for watching, and subscribe for more.